sold at auction, yet you still have time. So you have to understand that banks don't want your money. They want to go ahead and help and make sure that you can either find a way to sell your property prior to the auction, or you can reinstate your loan. So it is not an end all be all type of thing where you have to put your head in the sand and become an ostrich, which is what most people do because they're afraid, they don't understand what's going on. And the thing is, they have options. So just remember, guys, it's not the end. Right before auction, you still have options. We can help you stop a pre-foreclosure, an auction, even a day before. So if you have sellers, or if you're a seller and you're looking to go ahead and you're going through a rough situation, rough patch in life, and you want to go ahead and reach out to us for a help, or to help one of your sellers, we're more than happy to do so. We've stopped many auctions. We've saved a lot of people from pre-foreclosures. And I want to tell you is that there is hope. There is hope. However, the hope dies every waking minute that you put it off. There is less and less of a chance of us being able to stop the auction for you, or you stopping it yourself. And so, what I want to tell you guys is that if you're a homeowner, or if you're working with a homeowner that's a seller that is in pre foreclosure and, let's say, away from auction next 30 days or so, you'll see and witness the emotional roller coaster they go through, and how much you have to be there for them as a servant, not as a buyer, but as somebody that says, hey, I'm here to help you. Anything you need, let me know what you need, because I promise you, most of those homeowners, there will come a time where they're going to open up their eyes and they're going to say, oh my God, my family's about to be out in the street. My house is going to be going up on the auction block, and I have to do something about this. And the more of a deeper connection you build with these homeowners, the more you find out what the root cause is of their problems, and you find those solutions. That's how you will get those deals. Some deals you might get, and you might hit a home run on and make a lot of money. Some deals you might just end up helping the homeowner and doing a good deed. um, and some deals you might just hit what's that baseball terminology called? I forgot. But yeah, anyways, you would just, it wouldn't be a home run. It might be a base hit, right? So there we go. So you guys, when it comes to follow up is very key with these homeowners. These homeowners are constantly inundated with phone calls, with text messages, with emails, people knocking on their door. And so you have to realize that they're already going through so much by their home being in foreclosure and getting all these phone calls, that they're looking for somebody that just doesn't want their money, doesn't want the house, doesn't want the equity, but is actually there to service them in a way where others don't. And so that's what's going to separate you from the herd. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some homeowners that just say, hey, just make me an offer, and then you have to let them know, hey, I'm going to go back to my underwriters. We're going to take a look at the property. We're going to see what we can do to make you the best offer that we possibly can, based on your situation, based on paying off all your legal fees, your payoff, stopping the auction. Let me see what I can do for you. And you can let them know what an offer is. You can let them know in the beginning, hey, if we were to pay off all the legal fees, stopping the auction, postponing it, we'd waive all real estate commissions, we'd waive all closing costs. What do you think you would feel comfortable with walking net in your pocket? And I'm talking about net, like no fees for you whatsoever. So we take on all the risk and you end up with money in your pocket. Did you have a number in mind based on the conversation we just had? Then you just want to be quiet. And so a lot of homeowners will let you know that. And also I like to say is like, hey, besides selling this property, because you're probably going to have to sell it since we're so close to auction, is there anything else that you need help with? We have an entire team that we can literally give you as a resource, and you could use our team at your disposal. So anything you need, from moving to packing to finding a new place. Are you okay with are your utility bills caught up? Is your cell phone bill caught up? Are you behind in any bills that possibly water that you need help with? Just let us know. I know, yes, a lot of times, we're down on our luck and we don't want to vocalize what's happening, but I just want to let you know that we are here to help. We're here to serve you and help you as much as we possibly can, while at the same time putting money in your pocket, but also giving you enough time because we are investors. So once we stop the auction, you have plenty of time to pack, move, and once again, we will give you all our resources that we have. Our entire team will be working with you to help you with the transition. So as you can see, the way I put that together, versus how somebody else would call and put it together, is night and day, because I'm going in there already with a servitude mindset. I'm not in there as a with a buyer's mindset. And so I think this is why like our team is able to get these contracts and um, get these homeowners to commit to us, is because of the fact that that's how we come in and that's what we tell these homeowners. And in essence, that's exactly what we do. We're actually about to pay for someone's water bill. He has no water in the house, guys. Like, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know the sanitation, any sanitation problems inside the household right now, because the guy has no water. So the question is, how is he flushing, right? Which in your mind, and you don't want to think about it, but people are going through these problems. Like, once the water is cut off, how do you wash your hands? How do you take a shower? How do you flush the toilet? And so we're probably going to be advancing some fees to this homeowner so he can live humanly, right? He can. I don't think right now he probably feels as low as you can possibly feel as a person. And his house is beautiful. It was built like in 2015, and he's going through this bad situation, and we feel so sorry for him, because how can you live with no electricity, no water, no heat, no AC? It's you can't even turn on the lights. I mean, it's sad if you think about it. And so this is where what separates us is we come in and we help. We help with catching up some of the bills. We help with something maybe they need. Maybe they need some food. I mean, these people, guys. I mean, you don't know what they're going through. They might be going through some really really horrible things right now. Whether it's a layoff that they had, or they've been unemployed for a long time, or there's a divorce happening, or there was a death in the family and income was lost. I mean, some of these people are going through some really hard times, and you just have to make sure that you empathize with them. So you have to show a lot of empathy when you're working with pre-foreclosures. You cannot be robotic. If you're robotic, it's really not going to get you anywhere. They're gonna, even though you might be the highest offer on the blog, they're gonna go with the guy that hears them out. That actually sits on the phone with them for half an hour, 45 minutes, and learns about their family, what happened to them, what do they need help with right now, versus just the house by itself. They're scared about this auction coming up. Obviously, you have to help stop the auction, pay for that. So there are some expenses you gotta pay up front, and they don't always pan out. But it's kind of like private equity. Private equity or venture capitalists, they make investments into all these different companies, millions of dollars, and then all they have to do is hit once, and it's a unicorn, right? And if they hit that unicorn, that basically makes their entire year, if not 10 years, right? So foreclosures are kind of the same way. You're making investments. You don't know, You don't know which one's going to pan out, but I guarantee you, you will have some unicorns in there that you will be able to help this homeowner a lot, but you'll also be able to make a nice amount of profit for yourself and for your company. And so, with us going after these pre-foreclosures, our preferred method is texting. Right now is how we do things. So we text going after these pre-foreclosures, and then we have an automation set up, and we do follow-up calls, follow-up text messages, and then we send out the contracts, get them signed, get the auction stopped, and then we're in process. And so you guys have to really think about that. That it's never going to be a one-time close. Get that out of your mind. You might be lucky, you might have a one or two time close. I've had that before, but it doesn't happen often. It happens very rarely. You want to become their friend, you want to become their confidant, you want to become somebody they can confide in, trust, and whenever they need you, you pick up your phone, because that's really big. Because remember, there's people knocking on their doors constantly. There's people emailing them, texting them, calling them. So you have to be you have to, especially after you get that contract signed. It's not doesn't mean it's going to close, because then you have to nurture that homeowner. You have to take them through the steps. You have to have a follow up. You have to have a follow up process in place every single week to let the homeowner know what's going on, what's happening with the purchase of the property, what's the next step, just to make sure that they hear your voice or somebody from your company. Because I cannot tell you how many times a homeowner thought maybe they can be in two different contracts. Oh, this person came and gave me a higher offer, so I went with them. So we as a company, we make sure that we let them know that, hey, this is illegal binding contract after it's signed, and that we are going to purchase your home. So please, you are going to be getting a lot of knocks on the door, phone calls, text messages. Don't sign anything, don't do anything, because a lot of times what can happen is, if you do that, somebody might not have good intentions. They might make you a higher offer just to sign the contract, and then just to put an affidavit of memorandum on your home and cloud title, which essentially means that what they're going to do is they're going to take that contract and use it against you, and they're going to record it. And now you can't do anything. So now, let's say if I want to buy your property and we get to closing, and you've signed a contract with someone else, and they were able to cloud title by doing an affidavit of memorandum. Now that other company has to release it, and they usually want some cash for it, even though they went in there and they didn't do anything ethically. They still want to get paid. So then we got to involve our attorneys and so forth and so forth. And so you have to make sure you educate these homeowners as much as you possibly can, especially when you get somebody to commit to you and give you that contract and give you that opportunity to help them. Because remember, guys, you got to treat these homeowners like like um like little babies, because you have to literally take their hand and walk them through the whole process. And I don't put it lightly when I say babies. I mean, you have to speak you have to speak in simple terms to them, in simple terminology. You have to explain the process to them, what's happening from step one to all the way to the closing table, what they should expect, what they should not expect. Um, there's still a lot of things you have to do after you even get the contract signed. And so I always tell people, listen, if you're doing this by yourself, and and you don't want to take that responsibility all upon yourself, then reach out to us. If you have a foreclosure lead and you're like, hey, this person is going to auction, they're really interested, they understand they can't save the house, they've called the bank has denied loan modifications for them, they won't give them any more extension, they can't do anything for them, and you have this lead, reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys out and stop the auction and show you our process and joint venture together, and we'll make money together. Don't do it on your own. We don't do it on our own. We don't stop auctions on our own. It's too much. It's too much work. It's a lot. You can literally, like, talking to the homeowner, talking to title, talking to the trustee, sales attorney. I mean, guys, like we pay for these services because we couldn't do it all on our own. It's almost impossible, especially at the scale that we're at. So if you want to join venture, just reach out to me on Instagram at creative_Mike with a K and say, hey, Mike, I got this lead. This is what they're looking for. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll patch you in with one of our acquisitions guys that specializes in foreclosures. And he'll go ahead and take everything and start moving it forward for you. He'll get on the phone with you. He'll do a conference call with you. So utilize us as a resource. You don't have to do this on your own. Especially if it's your first time. I'm telling you, there's a lot to it, but it's a very nice check at the end, the most of the time, because the bigger problem you solve, the more money you're going to make. I hope that makes sense. The smaller problems you solve, the less money you're going to make. And that's because a lot of people stay clear of big problems because they don't either know how to solve it, or they're scared to approach it, or they don't understand it, or maybe it's just they think it's too much work. For us, we take on everything head on. Whether it's we pull title, there's liens on title, we start negotiating with the lien holders, whatever we have to do to help the homeowner get through the whole process and save them from foreclosure. Because remember, when you go to foreclosure, it's 7 years on your record. It decimates your credit report. It's very difficult for you to get an apartment afterwards. Landlords will very much scrutinize the foreclosure. A lot of landlords will ask you for 6 months to 1 year of security deposit. Where are you going to get that money from? So if you're in foreclosure, don't forget that it's not just about the money that you're going to lose from your house. It's about the 7 years that is going to haunt you for 7 years. 7 years. It's like a ghost following you, like a demonic presence following you everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, pull your credit, and boom, there's the foreclosure. Boom, there's the foreclosure. And you have to keep explaining yourself to the banks, to the landlords, to any sort of loan you apply for. You have to keep explaining yourself for 7 years. Do you want to do that? Do you want to let your sellers do that? Right? You have to let them know, like, this is going to haunt you, and it will be like an entity following you for 7 years. And it will be very difficult for you to rebuild that credit as well. It'll be much easier for you if we stop the foreclosure and we do everything else that we need to do, and we buy your property. You won't have a foreclosure on your record. It'll just say mortgage, boom, paid off. Now whatever you want to do, you start using your credit cards. You get a secured credit card, right, from like a big bank like Chase or Bank of America. You start rebuilding your credit. You're all happy. You can go get a place because you have no foreclosure on your record. So whatever landlord or apartment leasing company you talk to, they're not going to ask you for 6 months or a year of security deposit. So you can move your family right in with no problems. You also walk away with money from the house. There's just so many positives when it comes to like we're working with good people and working with people that actually want to make a difference for you in your life and in your family's life. And so I want you to take that every single time you make a phone call, and that other person on the side, that person on the side is probably going through the worst time of their lives. Um, unless there was something that happened health wise, that is probably the worst time of their lives, because especially when you have kids. Like, I went into a house with like 4 kids running around, and we're looking at this house and we're looking to buy it, and then all these kids are coming up to me and smiling at me, and then some of them started hugging me, and I got really emotional because I know that this family is in such a bad situation and bad position. They can't catch up on their payments. They don't have the money to reinstate the loan. And you're just like, man, like, especially being a father, you really feel deep inside knowing that if they don't do something about it, their house is going to go up for auction, and then the sheriff's going to knock, on the door and say, hey, it's time for you to go. And if they don't go, then the eviction process starts. And then the foreclosure on the record, 4 kids, try to find a new place that will even have enough room for 4 children, a big family like that, and not have to require a big first and last month's security deposits. And it's going to be very difficult, guys. I'm telling you, it's getting harder to rent right now. Landlords are scrutinizing everything. They're still following the rules. They're looking at how much you're making, and they want 3 times your rental income just to even give you an apartment. They're looking at your background. They're looking at your rental history. They're calling your previous landlord. They're calling your employer, making sure that you're still employed. They're verifying everything. Now tag on another thing of what they're going to look for, which is, hey, well, what's this foreclosure on your record, and what are you going to give them, a sob story when you had a chance to get out? Because every single one of you have a chance to get out. But a lot of you choose not to. For whatever reason, you think that somebody's taking advantage of you. The only person that's taking advantage of you is yourself. You're the one that doesn't want to face the problem head on. You're the one that's putting your family in a dire situation because of a circumstance that had happened. Some of you was involuntary. Some of you was voluntary. Maybe you've made some bad choices, in life. And some of you, life just kicked you in your butt, and you didn't have any other way out. But don't punish your family for it. Don't have pride. Let your ego go. Let a good company, let good people help you, because in the end, that's all you're going to have. Is you're going to have to trust someone. Most attorneys you're going to work with are not going to do anything for you. I'll tell you that much. You're going to take a retainer fee. You're going to pay thousands of dollars, and in the end, you're going to get nothing from it. So, oh wow, okay. Thanks, guys, for the likes. I appreciate it. That's pretty cool. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Nice. Thank you for the likes. So you guys have to really understand that, when you're in foreclosure, don't be selfish. It's not about you anymore. It's about you. It's about your family. It's about people living with you. So don't be selfish. Don't think that you're giving your house away. You know when you're going to give your house away? When it's going to end up on the auction block, and some investor is going to pick it up for pennies on the dollar, and you're going to be left with nothing, zero. Where you could have went with a company that could have helped you with everything. You could have walked away with money. The company could have helped you find a place, relocate, pack. I mean, I'm talking about the full 9 yards, right? When you work with a good company. So when you're working with a company like us, and you're working with Creative Mike and a team, that's what you get. You get full service, full resources, a team that's capable of handling everything from start to finish, holding on to our word, to our promise to you. That's what we do. Okay? That's what we do here with Creative Mike and the team and Tyler Capital Group. That's what we do. So when you are in a situation or a seller, please make sure you make them visualize what will happen if they don't make a decision sooner rather than later. Because that decision that they make will impact them for the rest of their lives. And it will impact them in a very, very negative way. And it's hard to get out of that. It's very hard to get out of something where you've lost your house, it got sold at auction. Now, if you don't leave when the sheriff knocks on your door, you're going to get evicted. So now you have a foreclosure on your record, and you have an eviction on your record. Ooh, that doesn't look good. You got no money from the sale of the property because you didn't take any cash from somebody that was offering you money and offering you help. You let your pride and ego get the best of you. And now the only person that's suffering is your family. That's it. Because of the selfish decisions that you've made your family suffer with you, where you could have helped yourself, and you could have helped your family. I've seen sellers, we were talking to them, and all of a sudden their house went up for auction. They thought they had time. You do not have time. There is no time. The time is when you get that phone call and people want to help you. That's time. That's your time right there. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the time that you have. Let us ease the burden off of you. Let us give you a peace of mind. Let us help you sleep better at night. You don't have to go through this alone. We are here to help you. We can help you. We can stop that auction. Do you know how good it feels when you see your house on an auction? It says auction date, November 1st, 2025 at 9 a.m. Imagine waking up every single day, typing in your house in Zillow, and that's the first thing that pops up is that auction date. That's the first thing that pops up. And maybe your family sees it. Maybe your friends see it online too. Maybe some people are curious on what's going on, right? And so, but regardless of that, right? Regardless of the exposure of you being in foreclosure because it's public record, you're putting your family at risk. Don't be selfish. I cannot tell you how many times the homeowner told me, Michael, I couldn't sleep at night. Every single morning I would wake up and I would Google my house. And every single morning I knew that the clock was ticking. And day by day, I knew that I was losing my house, but it still wasn't real in my mind. Because how can a bank take my home, kick out my family just like that? And I'll tell you this much, that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do. And if you're thinking about modifying your loan and you're 34 days before auction, forget it. You've lost it. There's no chance. They won't even talk to you about modification. You've had some of you had a year. Some of you had 2 years if you live in a blue state like Illinois. Shit, you can sit in your property here probably for a year or two, or New York, some guy knew how to play the foreclosure game, sat there for 10 years at his property, says and got kicked out. But that's a different story there. So just remember, stop being an ostrich, take the head out of the sand and raise your hand and say, I'm ready to listen. I'm ready for the help. So this has been a talk about foreclosures, guys. We do pre-foreclosures every single day. The way we market them is we do text messaging, very simple, very easy. You can cold call, you can door knock, you can text message, you can do whatever you want. It's up to you. So, but we just prefer texting. That's what we do. And we do a lot of texting, So you guys can do whatever you want to do. Door knock. I think door knocking, you're going to get a deal the fastest and quickest if you door knock. But other than that, if you have a deal, you don't know what to do with it, just reach out to me, Kreative_Mike. Boom, send me a DM. I'll introduce you straight to our foreclosure home specialist. He'll call the seller. He'll get everything going for you. He'll get it under contract, and we can joint venture together in a deal. So with that being said, guys, my name is Michael. My name is Creative Mike. This has been the Creative Mike Show. TikTok, I appreciate you being here live. Thank you so much. And I do a lot of creative finance, right? Creative finance, fix and flips, all sorts of different things. So, but one thing that we do specialize in is in foreclosures. So if you guys have any questions about it, you want a JV, you have a deal, under contract, not under contract, doesn't matter. Send it over to us. We'll take a look at it. We'll see what we can do. By the way, nationwide, we do foreclosures nationwide. So yes, we're able to stop auctions nationwide. So I don't care where this property is at. I don't care if it's in rural Alabama. we'll stop that auction. We'll save that property, and we'll get that property sold. And we'll put money in your pocket. We'll put money in the homeowner's pocket. Everybody will walk away happy. So remember, guys, this week, October 29th, I'm sorry, next week, October 29th is my event for Sub 2, Creative Finance with Creative Mike. It's going to be in Schaumburg, Illinois. And if you need funds, go to creativefunds.com. That's with a K, creativefunds.com. Fill out the form, and we'll be able to assist you with getting funding for transactional lending, or if you need creative finance lending, we can assist you with that as well. That's Creative Funds with a K. Other than that, guys, appreciate you guys. God bless everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day. And this has been the Creative Mike Show. My name is Creative Mike. And as always, stay creative, my friends.